10 years after the birth of the deadly simian flu pandemic, the world has drastically changed. The virus, originally intended to cure Alzheimer's, has decimated the human population, leaving only about 1 in 500 people genetically immune. Society has crumbled, cities lie in ruins, and human civilization as we know it has been destroyed. Amid this chaos, a new society has risen from the ashes. A large group of apes has formed a thriving colony in the lush, dense forests of the Muir Woods National Monument near San Francisco. These apes, endowed with genetically enhanced intelligence by the same virus that ravaged humanity, live under Caesar's wise and strong leadership. Alongside him are his trusted lieutenants, the gentle yet intelligent Maurice, the loyal Rocket, the formidable Luca, and the scarred and battle-hardened Koba. Their world is a sanctuary of peace and order, far removed from the chaos that has engulfed the human world. But this fragile peace is about to be shattered. A group of humans, desperate and determined, unknowingly ventures into the ape territory. Led by Malcolm, a man driven by the hope of restoring a semblance of normalcy, they seek a hydroelectric dam that could bring power back to their struggling community in San Francisco. As they trek through the dense forest, tension crackles in the air. Suddenly, the silence is broken by a confrontation. Carver, one of Malcolm's group, panics and injures Ash, Rocket's son, in a rash moment of fear. The situation teeters on the brink of disaster, but Malcolm's quick thinking and calm demeanor prevent further violence. The apes, led by Caesar, arrive with an imposing presence, eyes filled with curiosity and caution. Caesar, commanding respect and authority, orders the humans to leave, sparing them from immediate retribution. But the seeds of distrust are sown. Koba, Caesar's lieutenant who harbors a deep-seated hatred for humans, urges Caesar to respond with force. Reluctantly, Caesar agrees to a show of strength. The next day, the apes march on the human settlement, their presence a powerful display of unity and power. Caesar, standing tall and resolute, addresses the humans. His message is clear: the apes do not seek war but will not hesitate to defend themselves if provoked. He demands that the humans stay within their territory, warning them of the consequences should they cross the line again. The humans watch, a mix of fear and awe in their eyes, as the apes retreat into the forest. The message is unmistakable: the apes are not to be underestimated. The fragile peace hangs by a thread, with both sides aware that one wrong move could lead to all-out war. In the aftermath of the tense standoff, Malcolm approaches Dreyfus, the pragmatic and often skeptical leader of the human community. With a deep belief in the possibility of peace, Malcolm persuades Dreyfus to allow him one more chance. He proposes a risky mission: to return to the forest with a small team, reconcile with the apes, and secure access to the dam's hydroelectric power. Dreyfus reluctantly agrees, seeing the potential benefits and having a glimmer of trust in Malcolm's judgment. With a heavy heart and hope flickering, Malcolm sets out with his wife, Ellie, a compassionate nurse, and his teenage son, Alexander. They venture deep into the apes' territory, their every step filled with the weight of the fragile peace they must maintain. The atmosphere is charged with tension as they approach the ape colony. Observing the human family's genuine intentions, Caesar makes a pivotal decision. He allows them to work on the generator under strict conditions: they must surrender their guns. Trust is fragile, and Caesar knows any sign of aggression could reignite conflict. Malcolm's team complies, handing over their weapons in a gesture of goodwill. As days pass, a delicate bond begins to form. Malcolm, Ellie, and Alexander work alongside the apes, their interactions slowly breaking down barriers of fear and mistrust. Malcolm learns about the apes' way of life, while Ellie's nursing skills become invaluable. She treats injuries and ailments, slowly gaining the apes' trust. Alexander, carrying books with him, forms a unique friendship with Maurice, sharing stories and knowledge, bridging the gap between their worlds. However, peace is always precarious. The fragile truce faces its first significant test when Carver, who harbors deep-seated distrust of the apes, is found with a hidden gun. The discovery is a stark reminder of the ever-present danger. Caesar, feeling betrayed, orders Carver's immediate expulsion. Tensions run high, and for a moment, it seems like all progress might be lost. Just when hope seems dim, Ellie steps forward. Caesar's wife, Cornelia, is gravely ill with postpartum fever after giving birth to their younger son, Cornelius. Drawing on her medical expertise, Ellie tends to Cornelia with unwavering dedication. Her efforts are rewarded as Cornelia's condition improves, earning Ellie and her family a renewed sense of trust and respect from the apes. Meanwhile, back in the human settlement, paranoia and fear spread like wildfire. Dreyfus, convinced that an ape attack is imminent, takes drastic measures. He begins to arm the community with munitions from the Fort Point Armory, preparing for a potential conflict. Koba, scarred physically and emotionally from years of torture at the hands of humans, stumbles upon the armory during one of his patrols. His deep-seated hatred for humans bubbles to the surface. Confronting Caesar, Koba accuses him of being too sympathetic towards humans, a confrontation that ends with Caesar asserting his dominance but stopping short of killing Koba. The scars of the past run deep, and Koba's resentment festers. Fueled by anger and distrust, Koba returns to the armory under the cover of darkness. In a brutal and decisive act, he kills 2 guards, ensuring no witnesses remain. His actions starkly contrast the fragile peace Malcolm's team is striving to build. Later, Koba's rage culminates in a savage attack on Carver, whom he beats to death, further escalating the tension between humans and apes. As the humans succeed in repairing the generator and restoring power to their community, the delicate balance teeters on the edge. The uneasy truce hangs by a thread, with every action carrying the weight of potential conflict. Both sides stand at a precipice, their futures intertwined in a complex web of trust, betrayal, and the hope for peace. As the humans celebrate their success in restoring power, a sinister plot unfolds in the shadows. Driven by his hatred for humans and his thirst for power, Koba covertly sets fire to the ape colony. Amid the chaos and flames, he makes his most treacherous move, shooting Caesar. The beloved leader falls into the underbrush, seemingly lifeless. Koba, with calculated cruelty, frames the humans for the fire and Caesar's apparent death, stoking the flames of anger and fear among the apes. Seizing the moment, Koba takes command, rallying the apes with a call to arms. His words are filled with venom and deception, convincing them that war is the only answer. Under his leadership, the ape army marches towards San Francisco with a newfound ferocity. They storm the armory, their collective rage fueling a full-scale assault on the human settlement. The battle is fierce and unforgiving. The humans, caught off guard, suffer heavy casualties as the apes breach their defenses. The once peaceful city turns into a war zone, with the apes plundering the armory and seizing control. Amid the chaos, Dreyfus, determined to survive, retreats underground, leaving his people to fend for themselves. Koba's ruthlessness knows no bounds. When Ash, Rocket's son, refuses to kill unarmed humans, Koba kills him in cold blood, his actions further fracturing the ape community. Those loyal to Caesar, including Rocket, Maurice, and Luca, are imprisoned, their hope dwindling as Koba's tyranny tightens. Meanwhile, Malcolm and his family make a desperate discovery in the attack's aftermath. They find Caesar gravely wounded but miraculously alive. With a determination born of their bond, they transport him to his former home in San Francisco. There, they tend to his injuries, their compassion and care a stark contrast to the violence consuming the city. Malcolm, risking everything, sneaks back into the settlement to find medical supplies. In the process, he encounters Blue Eyes, Caesar's elder son. The tension is palpable, but Blue Eyes, recognizing the sincerity in Malcolm's actions, spares him. A glimmer of hope ignites in his heart as the truth dawns on Blue Eyes that his father is still alive. He accompanies Malcolm to Caesar, and the reunion is filled with emotion and resolve. Learning of Koba's betrayal, Caesar is determined to reclaim his rightful place as leader and restore peace. He returns to the besieged community with Blue Eyes and Malcolm. The sight of their true leader, alive and determined, rekindles the spirit of the imprisoned humans and apes. Together, they stage a daring rescue, freeing those loyal to Caesar and challenging Koba's brutal regime. As the conflict peaks, the lines between friend and foe blur, and the cost of war becomes evident. The apes and humans must navigate a treacherous path where trust is fragile, and the hope for peace hangs by a thread. The battle for the future of both species is far from over, with each step forward fraught with peril and possibility. After leading the liberated apes into the tower, Malcolm races against time to find Dreyfus. Deep within the tower, he discovers a grim scene. In a desperate bid to halt the apes' advance, Dreyfus has rigged the base of the building with C4 explosives. His eyes gleam with determination and resignation as he reveals that his men have established radio contact with a distant military base. Reinforcements are on their way, but time is running out. Malcolm, knowing the stakes, holds Dreyfus and his men at gunpoint. He aims to buy Caesar the precious moments to retake command and confront Koba, who stands at the tower's pinnacle, reveling in his ill-gotten power. The tower, a symbol of human ingenuity and resilience, now teeters on the brink of destruction. High above, amid the chaos and debris, Caesar and Koba face a climactic battle. The air is tense, and their struggle echoes reverberate through the crumbling structure. Koba's rage is palpable, fueled by years of torment and a burning desire for vengeance. But Caesar, embodying strength and wisdom, fights not just for himself, but for the future of his kind. As their brutal confrontation reaches its zenith, the ground beneath them trembles. In a final, desperate act, Dreyfus detonates the explosives, his intention clear, to bring the tower down and annihilate the apes. The explosion rocks the building, sending shockwaves through the city and claiming Dreyfus's life in the process. The tower begins to collapse, a cacophony of steel and stone. Amid this devastation, Caesar gains the upper hand. Koba, defeated and clinging to the edge, pleads for mercy. But Caesar, eyes filled with sorrow and resolve, makes a fateful decision. Koba's actions have betrayed everything Caesar stands for. With a heavy heart, Caesar refuses to help, and Koba plunges to his death, the weight of his betrayal sealing his fate. Malcolm rushes to Caesar's side as the dust settles and the tower ruins lie in shambles. His face is grave as he delivers a dire warning: the human military is coming. The reality of the situation hits hard. Understanding the gravity of the impending conflict, Caesar believes humans will never forgive the apes for their attack. The hope for peace seems more distant than ever. Caesar persuades Malcolm to evacuate with his family in a moment of solemn resolve. The upcoming battle will be brutal, and their safety cannot be guaranteed. Malcolm, filled with a mixture of gratitude and sorrow, agrees. Their paths diverge, but the bond forged in these trials remains unbroken. As dawn breaks, Caesar addresses his fellow apes. His voice carries the weight of leadership and the pain of recent losses. He speaks of the challenges ahead and the necessity of preparing for the war that looms on the horizon. Unified and resolute, the apes rally around their leader, ready to face whatever the future holds. The stage is set for a new chapter in the saga of apes and humans. The battle for survival and coexistence continues, with both sides standing at a crossroads. In the heart of the ruins, amidst the echoes of the past, the apes prepare to defend their future, led by Caesar, a leader who has seen the best and worst of both worlds.